In this lesson, we will learn how to create new users in Entra ID. First, we will learn about the required attributes for an Entra ID user. Then we will create a new Entra ID user in Azure portal. After that, we will create the rest of users using PowerShell. And finally, we will conclude our lesson with the review questions. To create a Microsoft Entra ID user, the following attributes are required. Display name, the full name of the user. Mail nickname, a unique identifier for the user. User principal name, the login name typically in the format username at domain.com. Password profile defines the user's password and whether they must change it at the next sign-in. Account enabled specifies if the account is active. User's locations specifies the country or regions where the user is located. This attribute is only required for assigning Microsoft 365 licenses to a user. If it is not set, the user may not be able to receive certain licenses or access specific features. Here is the list of users that we are going to create in Entra ID. First, we will create the account for the CEO in Azure portal. Then we will create the accounts for the rest of users using PowerShell. Here we are in Microsoft Entra ID for IT Life Skills. Under the users, we click on All Users. To create a new user, we click on New User, then click on Create New User. In the user principal name, we type in the user principal name of the CEO, Ryan.Brown. Then in the display name, we type in the display name Ryan Brown. Then click on the Properties button. In the first name, we type in Brown. Then in the last name, we type in Ryan. In the job title, we type in CEO, and in the company name, we type in IT Life Skills, and in the department, we type in Human Resources. After that, we will scroll down and type in the office location, Aurora, and we scroll down and we will paste the business phone to the business phone box. Then we select uses location, and in this case it is United States. So we select United States, then click on the assignment, then click next, then create and click refresh, and you can see the account for the CEO Ryan Brown has been created. Even though creating Entra ID users using PowerShell is not in the scope of the AZ-104 exam, but I decided to do it anyway to make it easier. And to create new users in Entra ID using PowerShell, I have to install the module Microsoft.Entra. And to install this module, I have to set the execution policy to unrestricted in the scope of the current user. So let's run the first command and say yes to all, and run the second command to install the module and say yes to all. And that's it. Let's it complete. Here is the PowerShell script to create new Entra ID users. As you can see, first I need to import all the employees from the employee list.csv file and exclude the CEO whose account has been created in Azure portal. Then I created the password profile object and set the initial password to IT Life Skills exclamation point AZ104, and I forced the user to change their passwords next time they logged in. Next, I read each employee attributes from the employee list.csv file and store it in a variable. Then I construct a hash table user params containing all the attributes except the office location and the manager because PowerShell doesn't allow me to create a new user with those attributes. Now I create the new user. Then I set the office location to the office using the information provided in the CSV file. After that, I query the manager using the display name and extract the object ID of the manager and store it into this variable. And finally, I set the manager object ID to the current user, and I repeat the same steps for all the users. That's it. Now let's run the PowerShell script. To run the PowerShell script, I first need to connect Entra with the scope user.readwrite.all. So let's select the command and run it. Now let's run the script. As you can see, this user has been created. Now let's open Azure portal and click on refresh. As you can see, this user show up in Azure portal. Everything looks good. As you may remember, I mixed up the first name and the last name of the CEO. Let's fix this. To do that, we need to click on Microsoft Entra ID, then click on Users, then scroll down to the account of the CEO and click on it and click on Edit Properties. Here I cut the first name and paste it to the last name and cut the last name and paste it into the first name and click on Save. Now click on the properties. As you can see, the first name and the last name of the CEO got updated correctly. Let's conclude our lessons with the review questions.